Here's the dating advice people don't like hearing, but they desperately need. Stop listening to what they say and watch what they do. Now, that is not harsh. Hear my heart on this because I've spent thousands of hours coaching teenage and college age women and girls in relationships, sometimes over coffee and sometimes over way too much ice cream. And I can tell you this with complete clarity. The problem is almost never that he didn't say the right things. It's that his life didn't back them up every single time. So let me say this again clearly and kindly. Ignore the words, pay attention to the behavior. Now, let me be clear, words matter. They absolutely do. But in dating, words are easy. Chemistry is easy. Intentions are easy to talk about, but consistency is not. Early on, most people aren't lying. Most people. They're aspiring, right? They tell you who they want to be, what they value, what they believe, what kind of relationship that they hope to have. And none of that is bad. But character is not revealed by what someone says when they're trying to impress you. Character is revealed by what they do when they have nothing to gain. So, here's a better question to ask when you're dating. Not do they say the right things, but does their life back it up? Think about it like this. When you go on a job interview, they don't hire you based on what they think you could do. They look at your resume. They want evidence, they want patterns, they want follow through over time. No employer says, well, they say they're responsible, so let's hire them. Well, dating should work the same way. You don't want to build a future with someone who has intentions. You want to build it when you see patterns. Anyone can say, I'm serious about you. I value faith. I want something healthy. I'm working on myself, right? But then you have to watch. Do they follow through? Do they show up when it's inconvenient? Do their choices match their convictions? And do they respect your boundaries and they don't try to negotiate them? Because patterns don't lie, even when people don't mean to be misleading. And I want you to think about this for a second because this really matters. Why do we fall for words? Well, because they feel hopeful. They create pictures. They promise futures. They make us feel chosen and seen and desired. And if you've been waiting or praying or hoping, words can be a relief. They can sound like movement. They can feel like progress. But words can create momentum without direction. And if you're not careful, you start filling in the gaps with your own hope. You don't just hear what they say, you start adding meaning to it. You assume follow through. You imagine consistency that hasn't happened yet. That doesn't make you foolish, that makes you human. But this is why observation matters more than words. Attraction can blur your vision. Attention brings clarity. Jesus said, you will recognize them by their fruit. Matthew 7:16. In other words, look at what their life produces, not their promises, not their intentions, not their words on a great date, their fruit. This isn't about being harsh. This isn't about being suspicious. It's about being wise. Watch how they treat people who they cannot benefit from, how they handle stress, how they respond to boundaries, how they speak when they're frustrated, how they behave when there is no one watching. Because when actions don't match words, that is not a mystery for you to solve. That is information to honor. So hear this, friend to friend. You are not asking for too much when you're asking for alignment. You're asking for integrity. And consistency isn't about perfection. It's honesty that you've seen over time. So instead of saying, I'll believe it when I see it, try saying, I'll trust it when I see it consistently. The right person won't require you to decode them, right? They won't keep you guessing. You won't have to rely on promises that will just help you carry on with a relationship. Their life will speak for them. So yes, listen to what they say, but believe it by what they do. Watch their actions. They will reveal that they are ready for a relationship, and you deserve someone who is ready. So if this helped bring clarity or gave you language for something you've been feeling, I would love it if you would like this video, comment, share, subscribe, so that more conversations like this can happen. Not hype, but wisdom that we can actually live out together.